Once again with our special guest Mike Mullins, designer of Bottom of the Ninth, Pentaquark, and a whole bunch of solo variants.
Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is
Demiurge. One that is an autonomous creative force or decisive power, such as our guest of the day, Mike Mullins.
Oh, that's a good start. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, so the cool thing about this word is that it's so versatile. So it goes back to like philosophy and like the actual creation of the universe, and it gets used with, modern, like the Demiurge is the creator or writer of a show. So I was really kind of struggling with what direction to go, because it's just, there's so many different ways to go. I don't know. The other part of the problem is that I'm quite the logophile myself. I love words. So then I was looking at the second half of the word urge actually doesn't come from urge. It's ergos, which is worker. And then demi is human. So it's actually like human workers is what this word is. Like, people making things. And so I don't know, there's lots of different ways to go with it. But what I started thinking about, and it might be due to my overconsumption of different things like Full Metal Alchemist and all that good stuff, is it's like a character class. Okay, so I don't have a full game for you. I have a pitch of a type of character, and then we can round it out with a game they can participate in.
Cool.
So whether it's like an RPG system, an adventure game, a battle game, or something like that, Demiurge is one of your classes. And so what they can do is they can create things out of nothing. But it's not exactly out of nothing. It's more like rearranging chaos to form something. So whatever system you're in, there's a converted cost. So it might be the cost of a certain amount of resources or cards in your hand or health or stamina. So like you can pay anything to create what you're going to make. So let's say hypothetically we're in a sort of battle system, and I want to make it a shield, but all I have is the air around me, some dirt on the ground, and I don't know, my own blood, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to pull elements out of the air, the converted cost there would be higher than it would be if I was trying to make a shield out of like the rocks and dirt, and then maybe not quite as high as trying to make it out of my own blood, because at least there's some stuff, so I can pull some iron out of there, I can rearrange it or whatever. So the converted cost would vary depending on how close your source is to what you're trying to make. So, you could have somebody who's trying to, rearrange the elements in the air to make flames, or you could have a demiurge that is like making little missiles to fire at people. Like the whole basis of the magic system or the creation system and the fighting system are these demiurges that can just create stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's definitely you're probably the only other person who knows about this little Matterkin world that I made up, but as you were talking about it, it felt very Matterkin to me. Like
oh yeah, so this is not a podcast for promotion, but it is your designer diary. So which Matterkin realm of the world would be where the demiurges be?
So I'll give just a second, brief introduction to it. Matterkin's just this little world where there's different elements, and there's all the elements are fighting for whatever reason, but there's oh my god, why can't I ever remember? There's solid, water, air, and then there's god types, which were plasma, and then there were digital, which are just kind of fake, false matter. So the first thing I thought of was one of each. Like, it's just like there's one of every type. But if anything, it felt like the plasma to me. Like the plasma can just, they could all be demiurges. They just form themselves to all different types. But same with the digital. The digital can fake it. So
yeah, and then that could could play into the converted cost thing. So if you had like a liquid Demiurge that was trying to, make typhoons and stuff, then the converted cost would be like 1-to-1. And then they like needed to make a shield and make it solid, so the converted cost would then skyrocket.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could sort of, have like a subspecialization or whatever based on that. But I just like the idea of actively creating as the type of magic that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. When I saw this definition, I was like, I'm so glad you got it. But I thought the word autonomous in the definition was going to end up with some sort of like solo push. That was
well, anything could have a solo push.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw that word and I was like, oh, that's solo leaning.
Well, just thinking about it from a solo bent. So, well, I mean, all that autonomous means is that you don't rely on anybody else to do the creating.
Exactly.
So it's not necessary. So you could certainly have it be where there are, whatever the goals are needed to accomplish in the system. The whole idea of converted cost builds in choice, and especially choice of timing. Do I need to do this round? So I'm going to, spend the extra card and 2 damage to myself because I don't have the resources to pay for it this round. So it actually does speak to solo design sensibilities, because those are the types of decisions that are rampant in the solo modes. It's a question of time versus investment. It's like, do I need to do this right now based on what might be coming?
Exactly. That's cool. Well, I am excited about. I'm going to try to pronounce it again. Demiurge.
Demiurge. Yeah, I was trying to think of. I get when I was doing these, I start to think about that as like the title of the game, and I started to get sort of bottlenecked, and I was like, no, that's like a character class. Like this is a Demiurge, and that's when it really kind of jumped out at me. I was like, I don't have to bottleneck myself with this being the title of the game. Like,
no, some of these words are just straight up terrible and impossible, and can't be a game, or are a game and totally set you off on the wrong track and everything else. So sometimes I just think of it as like, this is a component name. It's just like try to really, especially doing it every day, just trying to figure out a different angle on it.
Yeah, well, to take a break and offer you a compliment, I really dig the fact that it's not the same thing all the time. Like one of the reasons I was excited to do it was just for that reason. Like, it's not like, hey, this is just straight up pitch tag, like make a game out of this. It's like, no, what are your thoughts? So I'm happy to have done these. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely wanted to avoid the pitch tag of the day, and I think some of them will turn into a pitch tag.
Well,
and
sure.
That's
the ones that lend themselves.
Yeah, and it's the entire inspiration, for anything like this. But I think just it'll get old. It could get old just trying to make a new full game every day based on a word, and they'll start to blend into each other. And so
absolutely
cool. All right, well, thank you for coming, and tell everybody how to find you.
Oh, I'm at Blue Devil Duke on the tweeters. So drop me a mention, and we can talk about Demiurge or solo games or whatever you want.
Awesome. All right, thanks. See you guys around.
All right.